What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about What Kind of Girl by Alyssa Sheinmel. So I read A Danger to Herself and Others and I was obsessed with it, and I just had to go out and read more by her. And What Kind of Girl was an excerpt in the back of that book. So I'm like, all right, this is it. This is what I'm gonna read next. And this is about a girl who was in a abusive relationship, and she comes to school with a black eye and she reports it to the principal. And the story is told from all of these different perspectives, but then it slowly narrows in and you see that what we're seeing is multiple sides of just like one or two girls. I liked this take of it, and the actual main character, like who was the girlfriend, I loved her point of view. I thought it was really interesting. I do think that it was a little bit heavy in places, and I don't know if everything was handled super well, but her sections I really did like. However, I want to put a massive trigger warning on this book for, obviously, like domestic violence, for abuse. There's no sexual assault, thankfully, but there are eating disorders. And then my big trigger was self-harm and anxiety. One of the other main characters, who's actually the best friend, deals a lot with obsessive anxiety to the point where she is cutting herself, and she goes to the hospital because she cut herself too deeply. And that, when I was reading it, I found myself, I'm like, man, I really don't like Juniper's chapters. I really wish we could get back to the main character. Like, I really don't like her. And then I myself went into this anxiety attack, and I realized it was the book. Her anxiety was too similar to my own, and those triggers of self-harm were too much for me. And then I think I got 3/4 of the way through this book before I realized that, and I was really slogging through it, and I almost dropped it, but since I was almost done with it, I basically just skipped the rest of her chapters, just read Maya's chapters, because hers I did think it was compelling. And the end of this book, similar to A Danger to Herself and Others, is kind of ambiguous. It doesn't wrap up super nicely in a bow, which kind of leads towards the messiness of these types of scenarios. But Juniper herself, I just couldn't bring myself to read any more of her chapters. With that being said, I am giving this book a D+, and that's just because I personally wish I hadn't read this book, and I don't know if that's going to be the same excuse for everybody. So this really much is my experience. I think writing wise, it was fine. It's not my favorite when it comes to this kind of material. And I do think that everybody obviously has different triggers, but for me personally, if I had known what all this book was going to deal with, I would not have read it. And I wish that I hadn't read it. This has not turned me off of the author though, because I did like that other one so much. So I am going to continue reading books by her, but I did want to put it out there that this book is too much. It is too much. It's too many things all at one time. I love the idea that she had of showing these many different sides of the same people. You think that you're boiling it down to these girls who are stereotypes, but then you realize oh no, it's actually just this specific girl going through these different things. I think that was really interesting, but it was too much. I wish she had pared it down a little bit. I wish that maybe the best friends part had been pared down or just handled a little bit more carefully. So in my opinion, I personally would not recommend this book. I think there's too many things in it that can trigger a really wide variety of people, and I just think it needed to be handled with more care. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to Talk Books with me every week. That's everything I got for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!